Hello, welcome back to another video. Uh, yeah, so today is Saturday, and same routine again. So this week, there's not really that much going on. I'll say for my last week, just pretty much taking care of the garage. I cleaned up most of my, actually I cleaned up all my, actually been over, almost close to a year since I cleaned up my rigs, like all the components. The graphics card's already been taken care of a long time ago. It was mostly for like the PCIe cables, the splitter, and the PSU. And I realized that my PSU may be dead because last time when we had our water heater change, like maybe like a few weeks before we left, when I left the country, when I left. I didn't test it out, but I tested it out last week because I was already cleaning the garage. Yeah. So, because last time when the guy changed the water pipe, it like splashed like water. For some reason, I'm not too sure why. I don't remember. I'm not sure if he explained it. But it doesn't matter 'cause I don't remember right now, anyways. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So, cause cause the water pipe is the water heater is right next to my rigs. Thankfully, they're not plugged, so it's fine. But the PSU are around there, so it kind of got wet, and not only got the floor is wet, it's not so small. I didn't put on the floor anyways, but it would just splash everywhere. So it was like a lot of water. Yeah, and I realized that my PSU isn't turning on. Yeah, and last time when I tested, I heard a pop, so I'm not sure what's going on. I also tried doing the one with the paper clip. It wasn't able to boot on, but that was I only attempt with one of the PSU. The other PSU haven't tested yet. I have 6 PSUs, I think. They're all Corsair, and maybe 2 is from EVGA. Yeah, so 4 of them from Corsair. The rest is just server PSU, which they're already stored somewhere else, so that's not a problem. Actually, I had one rig that had a server PSU, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if that got infected, but I'm not sure. I think it's safe to test it out because it's been dry. So, but I'll try to be careful. I usually like when I test it, I was like trying to stay away just in case. Yeah, but it's been almost 2 months now, so I assume that it's fine to test it out. Yeah, but I pretty much cleaned up all my rigs. I did disassemble the frames. Finally did that almost a year later. Oh, close to a year. Yeah, procrastinating and doing other stuff. Yeah. What's it called? And I just put them in boxes so future uses. And maybe I don't think I'll ever do it again. Well, in California, I don't think I won't even do it again. I probably won't even be here by then. Probably move somewhere. Yeah. Probably move somewhere. Move to Asia, hopefully. But we'll see. Yeah, I don't like living in California. I actually don't even really like living in America. I just don't find it that interesting. But that's just my personal thing. But work, well, I have a better chance working here because I'm from here. So yeah, I'd much rather be in like Malaysia or something, which was where I'm from. So I have a better time there for obvious reason. We grew up. So uh, my back hurts. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to Tuesday. That's my project management class. So I guess it looks like I have a group. What it seems like it. The other 2 guys didn't show up last time, so the professor just formed me together, and they didn't know what was going on, so I just called it a group. It was supposed to be international trading, Again, I talked about last week, but the guy left, so I was left alone for internet, quote unquote international trading. But the two other guys don't even know what this group about, so I figured, okay, why not just make a digital wallet then? Because I have personal interest, and I also told, well, one guy didn't show up, but one guy did. I already told him about it, and he was okay with it. Yeah. So that's what we will be doing. But the other guy haven't shown up yet. Not sure. Yeah. So it was only me and other guy. We had to work on like a charter. It's like a team guideline. We would make like a set of guidelines that's due on Tuesday. I can't really work much too on it. I mean, most of them are pretty basic, so it's not that hard. But we need to agree on it and we need to sign it. So yeah, so no point getting working on it right now. But it's due on Tuesday, but kind of have an idea. And we had a draft on when we were in class, so that's not a problem. Yeah, and the other guy, well, maybe later. Wednesday, I just work on what I need to work on. Um, I think either Tuesday or Wednesday, I filmed my Legos. I started filming my Legos. I figure why not, even though I only have a few sets left. And I think I'll only buy a few more. Well, that's knowing like what's coming out from Kobe. Yeah, and I'll probably start consider harder to buy less when my shelf is full. I'm halfway towards my shelf being full. Yeah. So I know I miss out on a lot. I could have filmed back then, but I didn't. Well, I didn't even think of filming. So I like to film like maybe. I don't like to pump out that many videos. Yeah. I don't know. Just feel kind of random, you know. But I was like thinking again. I mean, why not? I mean, again, it's for my own sort of like my kind of record keeping, so I figured why not. And I only have a few left. I only have like four sets left. I realized I have four, not two. And I want to buy a few more. Then yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I'll make any more, but I don't know. Things might change. Yeah, unless I see some sets that's really appealing. Yeah. Then Thursday, that was my security course. Yeah, so my professor, he's a returning professor, but he finally got his email. Yeah, so we finally get access to the portal that we need to do our not as assignments and quizzes. So we finally got the portal. It's called test out. Yeah, test out. Uh, it was 129. Yeah, $129. And I actually haven't even bought the book for my project management class, but it looks like I need it. Cause on Tuesday or Wednesday night, I took the quiz. Yeah, I was using the slides, but it wasn't that detailed, so yeah, it looks like I have to buy the book, so I can't cheap out on this. Yeah, it was not that bad. I got 100%, and a lot of them are pretty straightforward, and a lot of them are had an idea from last semester, so that's not really a problem. Yeah, so first chapter is usually pretty easy. Yeah. For my security course, actually, it's supposed to be a security plus course. So I'll attempt to do that. My goal is to do it by end of before spring break, which is like a little bit less than over a month, little bit less than a month from now. I mean I want that, but it depends how my course goes in project management and my security course. And I realized that we have an individual presentation we need to do. I kind of briefly heard about it, but the professor didn't share. I don't remember that clearly. What was it about? And he didn't, and we cannot have access. He couldn't share us like the information. He couldn't share the slides because he doesn't have access to that yet. But he said he will update it right now, in this weekend. But there was one person who presented. It was something about like some security experience. I didn't know what the presentation is about. So everybody has to do it individually. And we have another project. Yeah, I don't remember really too much off the top of my head. Personally, I don't really like his teaching style. Is not really for me. I mean, just okay. He's not a bad person. I much like the networking class. That teaching style, I like it way more. Well, it's probably because this professor she put on the slides like most professors do. So yeah. But my other networking professor, he just say everything out of on top of his head. I don't have to write notes. So maybe I learn better that way. I'm not too sure. But regardless, I'm gonna have to learn it because I want to get that Security Plus certificate. Well, I'm going to have it anyways for when I go job search. So my goal is to want to do it before spring break, which is like less than a month from now. But I'm not sure. But I don't really have to. Like I kind of want to make that goal so I can kind of like maybe an excuse say, I want to go to the Middle East. And my parents don't really like me having the idea of me going to the Middle East. I'm not sure if it's like me spending my own money again or like just going to the Middle East alone. I'm not sure. Because previously I said I want to go to Afghanistan, so they really don't like the idea. So now I said, oh, okay, fine then. I'll go to like Kuwait, uh, Qatar, or Saudi. But maybe I don't know. We'll see. That was kind of an excuse. So maybe if I get completed the course, complete the certificate, maybe I have an excuse. I can like what did this? I can feel more good. I can go because my parents also want me to like prepare getting a job, which is understandable. But I cannot really find a security job that I want until I finish a certificate. I haven't really completed this course, like my school course, so it wouldn't even matter. But I can start looking for sysadmin, help desk. That's not a problem. And maybe networking. I can find those. But my goal is for security. Yeah. Yeah. And I just been looking at like uh international overseas job. They look pretty interesting. I actually spent maybe Wednesday looking at the videos about cost of living or life in Doha. And it seems pretty cool. I would like to do that, but I will probably have to like calculate if it's even worth it because first of all, I don't have to pay rent when I'm living with my parents. Well, I have to pay partially. My mom kind of told me about it. I have to pay some, but she will reimburse back to me when I want to buy a house. So I guess I mean that's okay. So I have to calculate that. And I also have to think about because my parents they don't want to live in America either. They want to go back to Asia. So probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I go to Middle East first, then go overseas, then they can go to Asia. I'm not too sure. It's really up to them, really, cause I don't want to stay in this house alone. Yeah. Even I can find a house, it's not a problem, but I don't really want to stay here. I don't really like staying here anyways. There's a lot of stuff I can't do. Yeah. I mean, when I think of America, I just think work, work, work. I don't really think of anything else. I mean, I really see people say, "Hey, I want to go to America to have fun." No, I don't hear that. Maybe back then, but not anymore. I mean, I just give an example, but if you go to the airport, if you don't see like SIM card station, well, that's self-explanatory. There's not a lot of people requesting for one. Cause when I go to Asia, there's a lot of them because they get a lot of tourists. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case in Europe, but that is definitely the case in America. I don't see anybody. I don't see any SIM card stations, so yeah. Also, it's too expensive, so I wouldn't even come here. It's much better in Asia and maybe. I mean, Europe is pretty typical, but maybe Middle East seems really fun. Yeah, it's very futuristic, so it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty underrated. I think people should go. Well, I'm trying to convince my parents too. They should go there someday. But they're pretty stubborn. I think they're more stubborn on the cost rather than the trip, which is going to the destination, which is understandable. Yeah. Then other than that, my security course, so can work on that. Then this weekend, I'm gonna clean up my room because I have some clothes I need to donate. I already took care of it partially last week, but there's the bag is still in my room. So I'm bring that downstairs to the garage. Yeah. Mm, then I clean up the what's it called? Just basically get rid of junk. So every time I say I want to clean up, it's very hard because my dad is a hoarder. Cause when we want to get rid of stuff, you have to argue with him. Then he'll say, "Okay, you can get rid of it," or "No, you can't get rid of it." So it's very hard to actually clean up. Cause I say clean up all the time, but it's actually very hard. And my mom and I get pissed off at it because he keeps things that he doesn't even use. Yeah. So it's pretty dumb. Even cables, really. And we have a lot of cables. It's like same cables. He wants to keep it, but he doesn't want to get rid of it. Yeah. And that. So that's. I think that's pretty much on the weekend. I need to start looking at uh, reading my. Oh, I think. Yeah, I forgot on my security course. We have like the chapters like every section there's a quiz. So I'm gonna work on that this weekend. And also I'm gonna work on the what's it called? The team rule guideline is due on Tuesday, but I'm gonna work on it because the other guy he's in India right now, but he's on a flight. I just emailed them on yesterday, Friday night. So he's on a flight, so he'll be arriving tonight. So, but my other groupmate, he already created Discord and already invited all of us, so I'm already in already. So we're just waiting for the other guy to get in so we can keep on communication, which is easier rather than email. We need to figure out time we can do a Zoom meeting or Discord, so maybe it shouldn't take longer than 30 minutes as long. Can prepare and we just need to sign everything and agree whatever is said on the paper. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, oh, and the books. The what's it called? The book. We're in the comic books I should talk about. So yeah, I actually haven't read it, but I need to read it. So I'm gonna do that. I usually do that when back then when I was a child. I'll read that whenever I'm taking a dump. So I'll probably do that rather than looking on the phone and watching YouTube videos. So I'll do that. And what's it called? What's next? Oh, the networking. So I fixed the 1 gig. So I uploaded a short about it. So basically, I just didn't terminate the cable properly. I assume. I believe it's the key zone I didn't do well. Okay, when I look at because I want to pull it out. It looks like the cable is pretty bent, so I'm not too sure. But regardless, we decided to connect from the other room, and there was already an existing hole, so we just do that instead. It would just be a lot easier. But the other room that didn't have 1 gig, so didn't terminate properly. But we fixed that, so that's not a problem. So now we have 1 gig. So yeah, and I also found out that actually that day when I fixed it, we're on a Facebook group that Xfinity is announcing 10 gig. Yeah. I wonder how much it's gonna be though. 10 gig. Probably like 150 maybe. Cause right now I think 1 gig for Xfinity that I have, I think it's either 70 or 90. I'm not too sure. 1.2, 1.2. Even though it only is 1 gig. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. That's not really that much else. I'll update more when next week when there's something interesting. Oh, yeah. One more thing that I realized that I didn't talk about, but there's this girl in my security course. She's in the Navy. I don't know why not just her, but a lot of people who been in the army, they like to say everything about, oh, I'm from the army, I'm from the Navy, I'm from the Air Force. Like I don't know if this is a culture thing, but I don't remember asking. I mean, yeah, you can be in the Navy, but you don't have to keep saying, oh, I'm in the Navy. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it is normal, but I just don't. It is more like repetitive and annoying. I'm from the Navy. Like even like introduction, that's fine. But like later discussion is like, oh, I'm from the Navy, so this is my experience, like blah blah blah. I mean it's fine, but it's kind of overdo it. Yeah, I don't. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, maybe just a me problem, but I think it's pretty annoying. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. That was actually the interesting that I found. I guess it's pretty common in the U.S., but I find it pretty annoying. Nothing wrong with it, but you don't want to keep talking about it. We already know. Yeah. Okay. Bye.